Hi everybody, it's Keely here from the Auburn Valley Humane Society, and today we are going to make one of my dog's favorite toys. It's called a Snuffle Mat. And this one is definitely something that takes a little bit more time, so we'll fast forward through a lot of my tying process, but it's just some fleece fabric tied to a rubber or plastic mat. So this one's a little bit larger. Today I'm going to make one that's just a teeny bit smaller than that. And I'm going to use this rubber mat that I got at the hardware store. So it's just an outdoor mat. It's nice because they'll be pretty sturdy. If the dogs are a little bit rough with them, it's okay. So get started with that. And then you'll also need some fleece fabric. And I cut my fleece fabric into strips already, but I just got a couple of yards of fleece fabric from the craft store. And I cut it into strips that are about 9 or 10 inches long by about 1 inch wide. It doesn't really matter, they don't all have to be the same. In fact, you can see with this one, if they're all a little bit different heights, that's actually great because it helps. Your dog will use this for sniffing and finding treats and things in between. So it's lots going on here that they can kind of dig around in and really get their brain working as they're finding their food. So you can give them dinner in that occasionally. It's a nice way to just kind of get their brain active. So I'm going to start tying my little pieces of fleece to the holes on my mat. So sometimes it's easier if you can see it from the back when you're putting them through, especially as you get more and more fleece pieces tied on. But you'll just tie them in a knot. And you'll do a whole bunch of those. You can do as many as you want to cover the corners and get it really thick and fluffy. And so we'll fast forward through me doing the tying and you'll see what it looks like when it's all done. All right, everybody, this is what the back looks like after just a couple of rows, and you'll just tie them kind of through every little circle, and the front is starting to look a little fluffy and a little crazy. I'm going to continue to work on this one for a little bit, but we'll let you guys see how the dogs interact with a completed one, like the one I have over here. They'll both look, this one will just be a little smaller, but it'll look almost the same as this one when it's all done. So I'm gonna skip ahead and let you see how the dogs interact with one that's already completely finished. This one's actually not gonna be for my dogs, so it's not one that I'm gonna let mine play with. I'm gonna give this one to someone who has some dogs that are looking for a little extra mental stimulation. So this is just something that you can make at home. It's not too difficult. It's just a little bit time consuming to tie a lot of knots, but if you can tie a knot and you can cut some strips of fabric, it's not too difficult to make. So thank you so much for joining us. If you decide to make a snuffle mat for your dog, definitely share with us what you create. We love to see those updates and see how the animals are interacting with the things you make for them. So thank you so much for joining us, and we hope to see your pets interacting with their new toy or their new snuffle mat soon. Bye, everybody. All right, so this is my dog Apollo, and he's going to show us how to use the Snuffle Mat. Good boy. Stay. So the first thing we're going to do is, he's not going to stay. He's very excited. He knows what it is. So we're just going to sprinkle a little bit of food across the mat and let him, good boy. Apollo, sit. Apollo, sit. Good boy. You're free. So now that he knows he's allowed to have it, he's gonna use his nose and really get in there searching for all of the kibble. You can tell he's got to use his nose and get his brain active and involved. And sometimes we give him his dinner this way, so that way he wears himself out using his brain, because mental exercise is just as important as physical exercise, especially for a dog as wild and crazy as him. He's gonna use his brain and really get in there. I've seen dogs that will pick up the whole mat and shake all the kibble out of it, so maybe you want to do this in an area where you know you can clean up if you need to, especially if it's your first time. But Apollo is very good at just digging his nose all the way in and finding every little piece. It's made a big improvement as well for us. My dogs tend to not use their nose to look for things, so they've learned by using the Snuffle Mat to turn on their nose and turn on their brain when they see something. So it's definitely interesting to watch him learn new things by using new toys. So I'll let him finish up his snack. But thanks so much for joining us, and we'll see you guys next time.